Today's tech tip has to do with reloading software on a desktop. In my company, there are times where we have to reload a PC, and it helps if you already have all the apps available on the network that you want to load on. But if several techs are dealing with different PCs and you want to make sure that they're always doing the computers or imaging the computers a certain way, and that there's a suite of applications always on a desktop, such as Firefox, Java, Flash, that kind of thing. In the past, the techs would have to download the software onto the machine as they were working on it, or as that became tedious, they would download the setup programs and then keep the setup programs on a flash drive or put it on the network. Well, nowadays they have application installers, and this is how Dell and HP preload a lot of their desktops. They set up an application installer that will run once the base OS is installed on a computer, and it goes out and grabs, Adobe and Flash and all that, and installs it, and basically builds the apps on top of the OS, and it does it automated. And to set up a launcher like that, there's two apps that I use. One of them is, you can find it, freenew.net, and the other one is ninite.com. And they're both similar. The idea is that it builds a custom launcher that will install all these products. So you can go in here and pick and choose what you want installed. And as I do that, it's dynamically changing what this installer will do. So I can pick and choose different apps that are in this. Both of these products have a bunch of apps. I find Freenew has more apps than Ninite, although Freenew tends to put the apps with their basic installs, which means that some of these put in toolbars. An example is PDF Creator installs a PDF Forge toolbar in IE, and by selecting that, it's going to install the toolbar as well. Whereas Ninite makes a habit, they go out of their way to actually customize the installs so that you don't get toolbars in any of them. So it's just a program. They don't put in the Bing bar or any of the other bars that you would find with some of these installs. One of the differences between the two also is FreeApps tends to install just 32-bit applications. So as I'm selecting these, it's not looking at the fact that I'm on a 64-bit OS and that I would probably want the 64-bit version of 7-zip as opposed to the 32-bit version. Whereas Ninite it'll check at your OS, the launcher will check your OS, and it will install the right version. In addition to that, once you build this launcher, the launcher just has the preferences of what apps you selected. So as I double click on it, it will go out and find the latest version of that app. So this is great because I can just build a launcher, put it on a NAS or network drive, or put it on my USB stick, and that launcher doesn't need to change ever again. And in fact, if you look, I'm selecting several apps in this. I'm not going to go through here and select them all. You can go in your leisure, but it's got a bunch of apps already. So if I get the installer and I save it, you'll notice that the installer is only 795 kilobytes. That's really small because all it is the launcher. It's not the actual installs of these programs. Instead, when I double click on it in Windows, it will then open up another window and say installing this, installing that, similar to this screenshot. So it'll download it and then it'll install it, then it'll go to the next one, download, install, next one, next one, next one, down the list. So this is really great because now the techs don't have to go out and find the latest version. They don't have to go and grab each of these products, and since it's a time process, to actually go and grab all these products and install them, you tend to forget one or two of these, and then, oh, he needs Java, I forgot to install it, or oh, they need Silverlight, I need to install that. So the great thing about this is now it's all set up. I don't have to do it, and they give you a bunch of products, and if there's stuff missing, you can suggest an app, and they'll look at the install and see if it's something that they can include in the list. And both of them allow you to do that. You can actually, I think down at the bottom, you can request an app down here somewhere. But this is a great tool, and I think once you use it once or twice, you forget that how nice and and easy it is to have this small exe and rebuild a computer relatively fast. It's a lot quicker to just double click and walk away than to sit there and babysit it for an hour and install everything correctly. It just makes everything a lot smoother, and you know that you're getting the latest version. I tend to use this one more, just because it does remove the toolbars, and it does give me the option of 32 and 64-bit. But you will, if you compare the apps, there are a couple more apps in this list, and they're more multimedia apps that are included in this, listing. But check it out. Let me know what you think. Put a comment on our site, and thank you for watching.